The airport hummed with announcements and rolling suitcases as Ethan Cole sat alone near Gate 47. Dressed in a tailored gray suit, he looked every bit the powerful CEO, except for his eyes, which were tired, distant, and hollow. For the first time in years, success felt unbearably quiet. He had built a billion-dollar company, signed global deals, and appeared on magazine covers. Yet that morning, sitting among strangers, Ethan felt completely lost. His flight was delayed, but even if it weren't, he wasn't sure where he was really going anymore. A small voice interrupted his thoughts. "Are you lost too, mister?" Ethan looked down to see a little girl, no older than 7, holding a pink backpack nearly as big as she was. Her hair was in messy braids, and her eyes were curious, not afraid. Ethan almost smiled but stopped himself. "No," he said automatically. "I know exactly where I'm going." The girl tilted her head, unconvinced. She climbed onto the seat beside him without asking, swinging her legs as if they were old friends. "Then why do you look like my dad did when my mom left?" she asked bluntly. The question hit harder than any boardroom confrontation. Ethan's breath caught. No one had spoken to him so honestly in years, especially not a child. Before he could respond, the girl continued. "I'm Lily. I got lost for a minute, but I found my grandma again." She smiled proudly. "Being lost isn't forever. It's just until someone helps you." Ethan stared at her, stunned. His wife had died 3 years ago, and since then he had buried himself in work, avoiding grief by chasing growth. He had convinced himself he was fine. Lily's words cracked something he had sealed tightly inside. "My name's Ethan," he said quietly. "And maybe I'm a little lost." Lily nodded like a wise old teacher. "That's okay," she said. "Grown-ups forget how to ask for help. Kids don't." An announcement echoed overhead, but neither of them moved. Lily pulled out a crumpled drawing from her bag, a picture of an airplane, a stick-figure family, and a big sun. "This is where I'm going," she said. "To see my dad. He works far away." Ethan looked at the drawing, then at Lily. "Do you miss him?" he asked. She nodded. "Every day. But he calls, and he promised he'd try harder." Her voice was hopeful, not bitter. That hope unsettled Ethan more than sadness ever had. Lily's grandmother soon rushed over, apologizing repeatedly. Lily hugged Ethan quickly before leaving. "Don't stay lost too long," she whispered. "It makes your heart tired." Then she was gone, swallowed by the crowd. Ethan sat frozen, replaying her words. His heart was tired, exhausted from pretending strength meant silence. For the first time in years, he opened his phone, not to check stocks, but to call his sister, whom he hadn't spoken to since the funeral. The call was awkward at first, then emotional, then healing. When he finally hung up, Ethan felt lighter, as if a weight he'd carried alone had shifted. The flight attendant announced boarding. Ethan stood, unsure, but this time hopeful. On the plane, he made a decision. He would take fewer meetings, visit home more often, and start living instead of running. Success had given him everything except peace, and a little girl at an airport had reminded him where peace began. As the plane lifted into the sky, Ethan looked out the window and smiled softly. He wasn't lost anymore. He had simply been waiting for the right question, and the courage to answer it honestly.